This is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Somewhere can you?
So just want you to know. Man, I looked at that smile on your face just now. And the first time I ever wished I was a photographer to take that picture and let the world see that honesty. That. And I know how you drive all over the country to chase us down. Chase us down. Okay? We move so fast. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you're family. I don't know if you're wife. But we are bosom friends. And I see you. I stop whatever I'm doing. Man, how are you? Hey. Well, you know, that's, I owe that to you. It's an obligation that you have. How old are you?
Oh, 36.
So you don't have the right to do what 36 people do. You don't have the right to you don't have a right to take that trip to you when I might need that plane fare to fly somebody else to feed my people that love me. Mm-hmm. You feed them. Oh, it's one thing being hungry from food. Right. There's another thing being hungry for information.
That's right.
And that's you to feed them. You got to be the farmer. You got to grow the crop. Huh? You got to till the grain. And you hear something that sounds like water. You got to go see if the crop's going to be flooded. Good job, man.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I'm asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing you quality through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform. Until that jingle review we did. Y'all seen the other side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. We all be there brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all, and so many others, and we cover so many things. Help us be. And we're back. Guess who's back? Back again. Brother Ron. Tell a friend. I think I'm back. We'll see. So we're going to try this out. Y'all let me know. This is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. This is Brother Ron. This has been a classic Mercury retrograde. Been a classic one for me. I can't, once I find out what a Mercury retrograde was, life has not been the same. I can't believe I'm on live right now to you all. Crazy year. Nobody in Hollywood could come up with a start to a year like what we're currently going through right now. If you can make it through this week, you have a great chance of making it throughout the whole year. I don't know what to expect. I get these text messages, these notifications.
people telling me stuff that's happening. Memphis been taking a lot of L's. But before we get to that, I want to shout the chat room. Thank you, Lucis Take, for rocking with us tonight. What's good is that we are here live. And, you know, I tried to go live a couple of days ago. It wasn't working now. It actually was a show dealing with Elvis Presley and his relationship with black people, with the blacks, the secret relationship between blacks and Elvis. I actually pre-recorded that show. I couldn't go. I tried for a couple hours the other night to go live, and I tried to use several different computers. Wi-Fi was crazy, browser was crazy. Now the laptop that was giving me problems over a week or so ago, this is where I'm going live on now. It's cooperating for the moment, and I had a lot. I said whatever I got to share must be some powerful stuff. That's why I'm having all these technical difficulties. But I'm learning as I get older. I'll be 43 this year. God, knock on whatever. I'm learning you got to be patient with yourself. I cannot fault myself for trying to do the right thing. Sometimes things can happen that's out of your control. And the most important thing I'm learning is not to lose control. Not to lose control of you. That's the only thing you can really control is how you respond when things don't go as planned or out of control. So control. Like Janet, damn it. Janet, she's a Taurus like me. Hey, Sister Gail, one love. Thank you for joining us. For y'all being very patient. I'm gonna just pray to the Most High and the righteous ancestors that this live will hold as long as I need it to hold, because I got some interesting information to share. And Sister Luna, what up? We are back in orbit. It's take off. Take it off. But yeah, man, Memphis been taking a lot of L's. The Memphis music scene, Memphis music heritage, taking a lot of L's right now. We're just now trying to deal with I'm trying to deal with Gangsta Boo checking out of here. Gangsta Boo left the building on New Year's Day. What I found out is that I actually know the person at whose home she died at. It wasn't her mom's home. It wasn't her home, because Gangsta Boo, Lola Mitchell, was living in L.A. She made her home in L.A. It was actually a sister I know that I met back in 2008. I actually interviewed her for We All Be TV, because one of her righteous ancestors is none other than the legendary Tom Lee. Tom Lee was a black man who had a boat called the Zev on the Mississippi River back in the early part of the 20th century. He saved a whole bunch of prominent elite Memphis white folks from drowning in the Mississippi River. Now, this black man had this small little boat called the Zev. Saved all these prominent white people. These are the white folks that will rule Memphis for decades and generations. But these are the white folks that would set Memphis policy, set everything in place for Memphis for the next several decades. This black dude with a little boat saved all these white people from drowning, all these rich, prominent white folks from drowning in the Mississippi River. He couldn't even swim himself. That's the crazy thing. This dude could not even swim himself, but he was able to save other folks from drowning. He ended up becoming a hero. He was recognized by the white establishment as being a hero. Some of y'all black folks will call my Uncle Tom. I'm gonna get a little bit into that, but he actually was invited to the White House and met with President Calvin Coolidge at the time. There's a picture of Tom Lee in the presence of President Calvin Coolidge, who some people say that he has some blackness in him. That Calvin Coolidge had some relatives that, jumping over the fence back in the day, suppose like Warren G. Harding. They say that, read a book called what's called The Six Negro Presidents by J.A. Rogers, the great historian that they always try and discredit. He wrote a book about several black presidents of the United States. You know, some people believe that Dwight D. Eisenhower was passing, that his mom was high yellow. If you look at pictures of Dwight D. Eisenhower's mom when she was a younger person, she was mixed with something. She was high yellow. She was passing. But that is me. But Tom Lee was a hero, and the white folks loved Tom Lee. They I think he was the first black person hired by the city of Memphis. The city government hired him to be, I want to say, some type of sanitation worker, if not mistaken. I could be wrong. And you think about it now, we're approaching Dr. King's MLK Day is coming up next Monday. It's coming Monday. And Dr. King is also, this year will mark the 55th anniversary of the sanitation worker strike that led to Dr. King come to Memphis to be sacrificed. Dr. King was sacrificed in Memphis. He came here for the sanitation workers, but he was sacrificed because America could not afford Dr. King to bring all them poor people to DC for the Poor People's Campaign. I ain't talking about the one with this dude from North Carolina. Was that William Barber? I ain't talking about his. That's the corporate sponsored Poor People's Campaign. I'm talking about the real one where it brought like the poor black folks, the poor white folks, the Indians, so-called Indians off the reservations, poor white people from the Appalachians, the poor black folks from the Mississippi Delta. Everybody was going to DC to protest. They wanted their fair share of the economy. They wanted a check that wouldn't bounce, that wouldn't say insufficient funds. And thing about this was, you remember in 63, 5 years before 68, that there was the March on Washington, but it was rather a peaceful, a peaceful demonstration, right? And really the March on Washington in 63 was about raising the minimum wage. So that's what they're going to tell you. It was a march. It was not a protest. It was a gathering. DC was a sundown town. All the black folks together on the lawn, on the nation's lawn, had to be out of DC by sundown. And it was controlled by the Kennedy administration and the white liberals. They controlled that thing. They selected the leaders, the Big Six. Y'all know who the Big Six was, right? Dr. King, the SCLC. You have A. Phil Randolph, the Pullman Porters and all this stuff, labor unions. Whitney Young of the Urban League, National Urban League. You have Mr. Good Trouble John Lewis was a SNCC, Student Nonviolent Committee. Then you had CORE represented by James Farmer. So, and then you had the NAACP represented by Roy Wilkins. So I think I named the Big Six. So they were selected by the white liberal establishment to be the figureheads, the puppets, figureheads, whatever. You want to get a good breakdown of that situation, listen to one of my favorite Malcolm X's speeches of all time, The Message to the Grassroots. A message to the grassroots, which came out like November 10th, 1963, if not November 11th. Malcolm made that speech in Detroit. Now, y'all talked about, y'all like to correct Brother Ron, and I ain't gonna always get everything right. You brothers, y'all mean well. Well, Brother Ron, you mean the ballot or the bullet? No, I mean a message to the grassroots, which came out before the ballot or the bullet, which came out in 64. I know what I'm talking about. I don't always get everything right, but listen to that. And Malcolm would break down. It almost sound like how, I guess, Candace Owens or a lot of us or Judge Joe Brown talk about black lesbians matters, black lesbian mentions or whatever y'all call that movement. Malcolm was showing you that the same old tricks, the same old, same game plan. So Malcolm was exposing, it's kind of like what Darren King D. Seal did and doing the Mike Brown Justice movement or Just Us movement. And King D. Seals, like Malcolm, was a Taurus. It's something about us Tauruses, man. We good at communicating, good at organizing, strategizing, and manifesting some things. You want to be started something. So I'm just went down this rabbit hole. I'm sorry. Let me just walk it back. So Tom Lee saved all these white people that end up controlling Memphis for decades. They're in there, and the people, their descendants, control Memphis and made Memphis this plantation town and what it is today, a plantation town. With a lot of corporate 500 slave owners. Plantation town. Memphis, a plantation town. And Old Mountain River, So Tom Lee, I think, was hired by the city to be a sanitation worker. Now, one of my jegna, Mr. Emerson Abel Jr., great music visionary, great music educator, the co-founder of the Southern Heritage Classic football game. Used to work for Isaac Hayes at Stax. Was Isaac Hayes band director at Manassas. Kicked Isaac out the band. Ended up working for his former student at Stax. He told me this growing up, that certain black folks in the community saw Tom Lee as a traitor. They saw him as a so-called Uncle Tom. Like he said, the kids used to throw like rocks and bottles at his home up in North Memphis, right? And my thing is, now we know Uncle Tom is not what we thought Uncle Tom was. If you look at the original origins of Uncle Tom was actually a hero. He actually was a hero and was a real race man, but they flipped the meaning of Uncle Tom. But to each their own. But they did erect a monument to Tom Lee downtown in what is now known as Tom Lee Park. And it said on the statue that he was a worthy Negro. Presented to a worthy Negro. So that statue got destroyed by, I don't know, it was a thunderstorm or a tornado destroyed the statue. So they remade a new statue, which time was a sculpture of a likeness of Tom Lee in this boat called the Zell, reaching for a passenger or for a white person that's about to drown, that was overboard. You're trying to pull the white person onto his boat, the Zell. Now, what's interesting, back in May of 2011, the Mississippi River elevated, it flooded, and Memphis is known as the Bluff City. We're actually above sea level. We're not like New Orleans that's below sea level. So the Mississippi elevated a lot for it to flood the city of Memphis. And it didn't flood because people were calling me from around the country. They was worried about Brother Ron. They thought we was the lost city of Atlantis. This is why the media is so deceptive. The news, if you looked at the news coverage back then, you think Memphis was all underwater, which wasn't true. Just certain areas of downtown, in particular Tom Lee Park. And what was interesting, they got photos of Tom Lee's sculpture. The guy, Tom Lee in the boat, the likeness of Tom Lee reaching for the person overboard. It was so real to see, it's like the statue came alive because the water stopped right underneath Tom Lee's boat. It stopped right underneath the boat sculpture of the boat. And it's like, it was like actually it was in the river, but I'm saying it's like, wow, that was incredible. But anyway, I just went all around the world. But the place where Gangsta Boo died, the sister named Sharmille Neely Alexander, Tom Lee was a righteous ancestor. So I met her when I was contracted to work for Amnesty International when they came to Memphis back in 2008. They honored Tom Lee and they reached out to his descendants or relatives or whatever, and she was one of them. And I met her those years ago, and I'm kicking myself sometimes, like, you know what? I could have been met Gangsta Boo before she left here. I was a fan of Gangsta Boo's, not realizing one of the people I've known in my circle actually were real close with her, and she actually died at her home. Somebody I actually knew. And I mean, I just could have met her. I just weird, but I say all this. But anyway, Gangsta Boo, terrible loss, horrible loss. But then to get the news of Lisa Marie Presley dying, that was crazy. I just came out for work, washing toilets and scrubbing floors and stuff. Yeah, it was interesting, but people hitting up my text, family saying Lisa Marie passed on. I said, this can't be real, because was she not just on the Golden Globes, cheering on Austin Butler, the guy who played her father in the biopic Elvis? And I would recommend y'all to check that biopic out. It is worth checking out. I saw that on Elvis's anniversary death date of August the 16th of 2022. in the theaters, and I was pleasantly surprised and thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't have any expectations. Elvis is controversy around Elvis's legacy as it relates to the black musician, his relationship with the black community. I actually was trying to go live to talk about the secret relationship between Elvis and black people, or blacks and Elvis. There's a lot of things they're not telling you about Elvis. A lot of us get it wrong about Elvis, and this is why I wanted to go live the other night, and I couldn't go live. But I pre-recorded a 2-hour presentation that I did off air. I'm editing it right now. And now I can't believe my timing that I wanted to talk about Elvis, and this happened with his family. And man, it just, you know what's strange? On Thursday, this past Thursday, because I think it's after midnight in Memphis. So I know already y'all ahead of us on the East Coast. Law Dog, I see Law Dog. Thank you for putting out to tune in and to get in where you fit in. What it do, Law Dog? I'm thinking about you. Losing a lot of greats lately. Losing a lot of, like, Jeff Beck just passed on. So many people dropping dead. I ain't gonna talk about what I think is going on. Y'all kind of know that, you know, I'm not the only one that thinks, did somebody get Pokemon? Are some of these people getting Pokemon? That's why they dropping dead like flies. You know what Pokemon is, right? That's my code, Pokemon. But Thursday, man, I was just in the mood to listen to some Elvis's gospel music. Elvis was a great gospel singer. You know, people don't really give Elvis credit for being actually a great singer. He was and is a great singer. And what's interesting about Elvis, he had a love for gospel music. And really that came from his love of worshiping or listening to black folks sing gospel. That's well documented. You know, I mean, we honored last year Dr. William H. Brewster, who ran the East Trigg Avenue Church in South Memphis. Elvis used to go there on Sundays and listen to Dr. Brewster and his choir sing. Elvis had a great appreciation for gospel and for the way black folk did it. But Elvis had his own unique style. See, Elvis, to me, he was like a white version of Jackie Wilson. Elvis reminded me, because they both had their operatic range, and Jackie had a lot of respect for Elvis. But Jackie was amazing because Jackie Wilson's voice was incredible. He could sing any and everything. He had the range. Like, my favorite version of Danny Boy is Jackie Wilson's. If you go on YouTube or whatever, listen to Danny Boy by Jackie Wilson. That's the best version of Danny Boy I ever heard in my life. Jackie Wilson was an angel. But he had a lot of respect for Elvis. He really revered Elvis. And I know it's hard for y'all to hear this. Jackie Wilson's favorite entertainer was Al Jolson, allegedly, according to different sources. But I was listening to Elvis gospel music earlier in the day yesterday, and I was just transfixed by it. I mean, his voice, you could tell he had a love for what he was singing. And you know what Elvis, the people don't understand Elvis, you know, he had this black backup singing group called the Sweet Inspirations. They're like, Whitney Houston's mom was a part of that group. Sissy Houston sung for Elvis as one of his backup singers in the group called the Sweet Inspirations. She wasn't there that long, but we talk about that. I talked about that in the podcast that I'm working on editing right now. But I was just listening to Elvis. And then the next thing you know, several hours later, people let me know that Lisa Marie passed. And I'm going to tell you what's interesting about this, right? The dude that played Elvis, Austin Butler, did a great job. Now, he don't look like Elvis to me, but when you look at him in the movie, he becomes Elvis. He really embodies Elvis because he spent 2 years of his life studying the mannerisms, voice, the presence, the persona of Elvis. And he really gets the essence of Elvis in the movie. I would give him props. He don't necessarily look like Elvis. Elvis had a certain unique look about him, but in the movie, it's like he's possessed by the spirit of Elvis. And you know, Priscilla, Elvis's widow, and his daughter really love his performance of Elvis, his take on Elvis. Uh, it was a high level film. It was top quality. It was almost 3 hours long. I think it was 3 hours long, but it was worth watching. The hours go by real fast. It's a lot of stuff in there. It said people said Austin Butler sounded like Elvis when he accepted his award, his Golden Globes the other night. But I'll tell you this: Austin Butler is a life path 9. His life path is number 9. Hear me out. Life path number 9. And what's a life path number? It's basically when you add up your birth date numbers. You add up your birth date numbers. You know, he was actually born August the 17th, 1991. You know, Elvis died on August the 16th. But Austin Butler was born August the 17th, 1991. You add up his birth date, he's a 9. Elvis was born January 8th, 1935. Elvis's life path number is number 9. So you got a number 9 playing a number 9. This life path number. Then what's crazy, you know, epiphany. What's crazy is Lisa Marie's life path number is 9. She was born February 1st, 1968. Her life path number is 9. Boy, it's got to blow your mind here, man. She died at 54, right? 5 plus 4 is what? It's 9. Her son, Brian, Benjamin Keogh. Benjamin Keogh, her son, who allegedly committed suicide back on July 12th, 2020. He died at 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is popping up everywhere. It concerns Presley and his people. 9s are everywhere. 9s are everywhere. What is that about? I don't know. I mean, y'all do gematria. I'm not into that. I mean, gematria is interesting. It's like you gotta be well read to a certain degree to really get gematria, because you gotta know, you gotta be good with history, dates, and all this stuff. But I'm just saying 9s are popping up everywhere. 9s are popping up everywhere. What is that about? What is that about? And you know what? I'm about to do something. I think her son is a 9. I think her son is a life path 9. I could be wrong. Benjamin Keogh. That's supposed to be Elvis's only grandson, allegedly. You know, Elvis was a musician. You know, like it's like Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke had kids all over the place, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? They recognize certain numbers, some of Sam Cooke kids, but Sam Cooke was getting in like Tupac. He got around like Pac, but you know, Sam was dropping them off. But you know, it's funny how that works, because I think on The Voice recently, it was a guy on there that claimed to be Elvis's grandson, but the only recognized grandson was Benjamin Keogh, Lisa Marie's son, who passed on back in July 2020, allegedly of suicide. So let me see something. I think I took some notes. Yeah, but anyway, you think about it. Elvis is life path 9. His daughter life path 9. The guy that plays him is a life path 9. Daughter dies at 54. 5 plus 4 is 9. Grandson kills himself at 27. 2 plus 7 is 9. So you may be asking me, what the hell is a life path 9? Well, let me tell you what a life path 9, the characteristics of a life path 9. I'll tell you some other famous life path 9s. Jimi Hendrix was a life path 9, or is a life path 9. Richard Pryor is a life path 9. Life path 9s are a big deal. You understand? I just tell you, Richard Pryor, Jimi Hendrix, Elvis Presley's all life path number 9s. So let's look up what a life path number 9 is about. But now I'm curious about Benjamin. Was he a 9 too? Yeah, it's just I was shocked by Lisa Marie though. You just don't expect her to think she'll be around. I didn't expect that at all. But she got twin daughters that were born, I think, in 2008. Then she got her other daughter, Riley, who's a movie actress. Been in some pretty big movie productions. I'm just trying to see. This is We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. Funny how the live stream is holding up now. And I was trying to give y'all all this other information I had prepared. It wasn't holding up then. Was he? Her son was born October 21st, 1992. I don't think he's a life path now. I'm about to do a quick thing. Now he was a 7, but here's what life path 9s are about. Read something about life path 9. Life path 9, number 9 personality. People who are affiliated with the life path number 9 are very humanitarian, generous, and humble in their nature. They have a sense of deep affection for people and are always willing to help them. They are affected by the concerns of the world and empathize with people in need. They are somewhat idealistic reformers who opt for perfection and balance in this world by helping those in need. They are willing to give time, energy, and money to create peace, harmony, and love in the world. If your life path number 9, or if your life path number is 9, you do not put much emphasis on what is happening at a micro level. Instead, you are more interested in knowing how to attain the bigger picture in life. You love to connect with people and share your dreams. And if it clicks, you do not refrain yourself to include those people in your journey either. You do not refrain yourself to include those people in your journey either. You believe in working together so that you can share more information to operate collectively, which according to you makes a broader impact. People with this life path numerology tend not to be biased while making decisions and are not driven by the conditioning of society. You instead follow what is true and righteous and choose not to follow the herd. Your firm grip on the bigger picture and continuously working on it without being influenced by any preconceptions works well for you and society. You believe in equality, balance, and giving people equal rights without judging them, which is one of the greatest qualities that you inculcate in yourself and others. So guess what I'm a life path 9. That's my number. I'm a life path. I was born 4/23, 1980. Life path number 9. That's me. And it makes sense when I read stuff like this. Because what are we doing now? What is going on? This is We All Be, world enriching, activating, liberating, love, beautification, experience. This is We All Be News, Radio, and TV. This is We All Be News, Radio, and TV, Sweet 16 year. I've been doing podcasting, sharing information, being a feeder for 16 years, really longer than that. But I'm talking about as far as the podcasting goes. It's been 16 years in, all in, doing stuff like, investigating curious lynchings. I mean, screw up, not lynch, hangings, weird hangings of Black folk. Put it on shows, art exhibits, working with different artists to talk about our stories, honoring people through cultural enrichment projects. That's what I'm about. So I got to identify, with these people. And Lisa Marie Presley, she had a good heart. What was interesting? I can remember back in the 90s when she was married to Michael Jackson. She actually met Michael Jackson when she was about 6 years old. It was the first time she met Michael Jackson, when she was 6 years old. And Michael remembered the time he met Lisa Marie, but I don't think Lisa Marie could recall. She was kind of like Troy Aikman, who said he couldn't recall playing in the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills for a second time in the 90s because he'd been concussed so bad. He had so many concussions, he couldn't recall playing in the Super Bowl. But she couldn't recall, I don't think, meeting Michael at a young age. But Michael remembered because he was trying to get in touch with her, but her mom kept her on lockdown, unlike her parents. Priscilla was messing around with Presley when she was a teenager. I don't think she was 16 before she started getting with Elvis. That's another story. Not my concern at the moment. But I remember when they came to Memphis, right? And Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson went to the Memphis Zoo. And what was weird was Michael Jackson wore a mask, like he was wearing like how we wear after the stuff, the pandemic stuff. He was wearing one of them surgical masks, but everybody knew who he was. Most famous man in the world, most famous person in the world, arguably most recognizable person in the world. He wearing a little mask, like we don't know that's Michael Jackson. No, Michael Jackson was at the Memphis Zoo. And what was interesting about Presley, you gotta think about it. This ain't no ordinary white dude. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep on, he's just a white dude. No, man. This was no ordinary dude, like no white guy. No, he wasn't, because he was born January the 8th, right? Guess who else is born January the 8th? R. Kelly. So you got the king of rock and roll and the king of R&B. To me, R. Kelly is the king of R&B. I'm sorry, he is. I didn't say the king of soul. I said the king of R&B. R. Kelly is one of the all-time greats. I don't, and it's sad because if Elvis was around the same time of R. Kelly, would Elvis be in the same type of trouble as R. Kelly? But they both were born January the 8th. Both Capricorns. It makes sense. King of rock and roll, king of R&B. Then you look at the fact that he was the father-in-law of the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Elvis was the father-in-law of the king of pop. Michael Jackson was his son-in-law. Nah, he ain't no Pat Boone. Well, he like Pat Boone. Nah, Elvis had a little bit more talent than Pat Boone. He had way more talent than Pat Boone. Elvis did not write his music, of course. He didn't write his own music. What's sad when I think about it, what if Chuck Berry was white? What if Little Richard was white? Fats Domino at one point was a bigger artist than Elvis was. And he was a black dude from the 9th Ward in New Orleans. He sold more records than Elvis at one point. And even Elvis recognized the greatness of Fats Domino. But I'm saying, what if these guys were white? I mean, because Elvis, that helped him. He looked like he was white. I think Elvis was mixed with stuff. Because I look at his mom. His mom looks interesting. Look at pictures of his mom. Look at photos of his mom. Now, they want to say he had Cherokee. Well, black folks were Indians too. So I don't know. And Elvis had a twin brother. He had a twin that was born before him that was stillborn named Jason Guerin. That was his brother that was born before he was born. Down in Tupelo. But Lisa Marie been sad for about 2 years, going on 3 years, because of what happened to her son, right? I'm gonna show this because like Elvis was into the occult. A lot of you guys, like the numbers and stuff like that, they into that type of stuff. That's part of the culture. I think about Gangsta Boo, right? Gangsta Boo was part of 666 Mafia, 3-6 Mafia, and if y'all get a chance, go on YouTube. Koopsta Nika has a channel he had. He did like a under 1 hour documentary about the origins of 666. Koopsta Nika was he had an amazing flow and cadence, right? It was a thing back in the day with Bone, like 3-6 Mafia claimed that Bone stole their sound. And I think Kustanika, his problem was he kept on getting in trouble with the law. He never could get his career off the ground like he should have gotten off. Spent a lot of time going in and out of jail and stuff like that. But I think in the documentary was saying that it's weird that people think there was all this drama because Kustanika said he actually was doing business with Bone. Like he actually did concerts and stuff with Bone, supposedly. That he, I think Eazy-E was interested in signing him allegedly. The documentary was worth watching. He got an interesting philosophy about life. He talks about the New World Order. He talked about how they actually was trying to get that they were Satanists. He actually admitted that they were trying to get black folks into the devil. But also he talked about the hypocrisy of religion, of organized religion. But also he talked about how it was a necessary evil. But anyway, Gangsta Boo, she called herself the devil's daughter. The devil's daughter. And it never ends well. We start playing those games as far as black people because we really manifest things. We can make our nightmares real because the power of life and death resides in the tongue. And she's a part of a tradition. It's like when people think about P.D. Wheatstraw, they think about Rudy Ray Moore's, the movie from the 70s, P.D. Wheatstraw, right? Rudy Ray Moore, who created Dolomite. Rudy Ray Moore is from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Now, P.D. Wheatstraw was a real blues musician who has origins in Tennessee, Arkansas. Okay. I knew it was something. I'm on a roll. Hold that thought, family. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Hey, can y'all see me? I just do a little bit of work around here. This is classic Mercury retrograde. But I was talking about you look at let me see. You look at blues tradition, right? I was talking about Petey Wheatstraw. Petey Wheatstraw, the actual Petey Wheatstraw was a blues musician for origins in Tennessee and Cotton Plant, Arkansas, I believe. And Petey Wheatstraw used to call himself the high sheriff of hell, the devil's son-in-law. That was his moniker. And you think about what Rudy Ray Moore did. He did the movie Petey Wheatstraw. His character Petey Wheatstraw was the devil's son-in-law, right? So what happened to the original Petey Wheatstraw? Because he was the most popular blues singer of his era. Let me see something right quick. Just doing a workaround. I'm just learning how to make it do what it do, man. Sometimes things go right, sometimes things go wrong. Okay. If y'all liking this. But Petey Wheatstraw was very popular. If you listen to Petey Wheatstraw in terms of his music, you think you was listening to Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson and Petey Wheatstraw sound alike. And they both have claims of making deals with the devil, right? Because with Robert Johnson, they say he made a deal with the devil at the crossroads down at Clarksdale, Mississippi. They got it actually built up. I've been to the crossroads, or they claim to be the crossroads, right? So Petey Wheatstraw was the most popular male blues singer of his era. Let me see if I could do this. Can I switch it around? Okay, that's even better. Hell. Okay. He was the most popular male blues singer of the 30s and 40s, Petey Wheatstraw. This is around the same time Robert Johnson was walking the earth. Hardly anybody knew who Robert Johnson was. His music wasn't selling like Petey Wheatstraw. He had Petey Wheatstraw, and he had Big Bill Broonzy up in Chicago. These are the most popular blues musicians of that time. That Robert Johnson was alive. What happened to Petey was on his birthday, say December 21st, 1941 or 42. I think it was 41. He was 39 years old. Him and his buddies were on a beer run in East St. Louis. And they had the misfortune of running into a standing train on the train tracks out in East St. Louis while on a beer run. Everybody in the vehicle died. And Petey Wheatstraw was just 39 years old. And his death made national news. It made the Billboard even cover Petey Wheatstraw's death. If you contrast that with Robert Johnson, nobody talked about Robert Johnson when he passed. Nobody knew he was dead unless you was living in Greenwood area down in Mississippi where he died under suspect circumstances. But now you fast forward to today, nobody really talks about Petey Wheatstraw, the musician. When we think about Petey Wheatstraw, we're thinking about Rudy Ray Moore's creation from the 70s. Just like I talked about with Rosewood, when folks want to talk about Rosewood now, they're not talking about what happened 100 years ago in Florida. A lot of times they're referencing the TV show Rosewood, and with Dr. Rosewood being played by Morris Chestnut, and he was a doctor in Miami with a private practice. So that's how they flip it. That's how Hollywood do it. They flip the script like that. But Petey Wheatstraw died crazy. He called himself the devil's son-in-law, the high sheriff of hell. Then you look at what happened to Robert Johnson making deals with the devil. Allegedly at the crossroad, he made songs called Me and the Devil and all this stuff. Hellhound on My Trail. Bob Dylan said he made a deal. That's why he can't retire. He keep on touring. He's almost 90 years old, still touring. He could never retire. He got to stay on the road. If he stopped doing what he's doing, you have to pay up another way, allegedly. It's a famous interview. I don't know, it was Ed Bradley interviewing Bob Dylan, talking about some deal he made that he had to keep on performing or something like that. But anyway, yeah, because you start playing with this type of stuff. You look at 3 6 Mafia, and I'm a big Gangsta Boo fan, but You call yourself the devil's daughter and all this stuff. Y'all doing all this, music that talks about doing up drugs and stuff. And it's always been a part of American music, though. I mean, they talk about promoting drugs and stuff and jazz and blues and all that stuff. There's always been part of our music. But what's weird is that you look at how these rappers are dying crazily from either drug overdose or this violence. And you look at even I think about Triple X Tentacion, right? XXX Tentacion. They're starting the trial for the people who allegedly killed them. It's starting this year. It's like, why it take almost 5 years? June will be 5 years since he got killed, which is crazy how time is flying. But I think Triple X was very talented. He was a very talented rapper, performer, artist. But I was talking to another brother about this yesterday, about XX Tentacion. I can't listen to his music that much. I can't, because it makes you very sad. It's sad and depressing. But yeah, he's articulating what a generation of young people, because these young people are different now. And you tell, if you want to understand a person, learn what they listened to while they was growing up. Learn the music of their youth. Think about who were the big artists, the most influential artists who was on the radio all the time, whatever. Think about the people that they were listening to. Tells you a lot about the person that you're dealing with in adulthood. You learn what people was listening to when they were younger. And you think about even my generation, what we listen to as far as the music and stuff like that versus now. We had Gangsta Boo, y'all got Glorilla. The young folks got Glorilla, we had Gangsta Boo. Need I say more? They had Triple X, XX, whatever. Tentacion, we had Tupac. Well, I had Tupac. Tupac was not just a depressing person to me. Tupac, he talks about pain and rejection and betrayal, but it was balance. He talked about happy stuff, getting money, getting laid. It was a balance. It was a balance. Like, it's a lot of the balance don't really exist right now. But yeah, you got people like, I guess, Nas. It's good to see Nas doing what he's doing right now, still relevant. Nas always been relevant because he stays consistent. Now he got, I guess, better beat selection now, but he always had them rhymes. And Nas is just one of the all-time greats. I know they're doing the ranking right now with Billboard and Vibe magazine. I don't know who's, like, they celebrating 50 years of hip-hop. They're trying to rank the 50 greatest rappers on MCs. And there's a lot of controversy. They released number 40 through 50, and people don't agree. E40, they got E40 over Jadakiss, and people mad about that. They got Rick Ross at 50. And people say, well, Redman at 42. Anyway, I'm not getting either here or there. But, yeah, I mean, your words create worlds, man. Your words create worlds. And but Elvis was a phenomenal gospel singer. He really good. I mean, y'all should check him out. I mean, like, he won his Grammys for singing gospel music. That's why he won his Grammys. He got a Lifetime Achievement Grammy, I think, when he was 36 years old, and then 6 years later, he was dead at 42. But he won his Grammys. This is the best-selling music artist of all time. They say Elvis got more. Nobody got more number one hits, I believe, than Elvis Presley. But the music industry is debatable. Because Michael Jackson, there's nobody like Michael Jackson either. Michael Jackson was phenomenal. But Michael Jackson said he studied the greats, right? But Michael Jackson took it to the next level. I mean, Fred Astaire was a big fan of Michael Jackson. Yeah, Fred Astaire. And you look at Michael Jackson, just, he took all that came before and became Michael Jackson, a force of nature. But let's see, I'm trying to get this done. I'm just working through, trying to hold it on. I've been on here for an hour, but I think I took a 10-minute break, trying to get back on the air. A 10-minute break. But I'm about to switch a rule. About to do the switcheroonie
on the computer. I got the computer up and running now. This is on my cell phone. Just learning some workarounds. It's been on about an hour. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long because I want to really, I don't want to give out all the stuff I did for the Elvis Presley, the secret relationship between the blacks and Elvis, because that's the podcast. I wish I could have had this type of being able to, go live like I wanted to a couple days ago, but I guess everything happens for a reason. So I'm about to switch it out. Just bear with me, people, as we all be. You got the words from Brother Herb, please subscribe. So, Brother Ron, about to sign off on this. I'm trying to get out of here.
Guess who's back? Back again. This has been very interesting. This is the Mercury retrograde live right here. This is Mercury retrograde live, but we back. I'm back how I want to be back. And let me see. Let's get y'all in. Hey, now I got the Nokia. This actually was the iPhone. I think it's an iPhone 8. I gotta get an upgrade. They forcing folks to get upgrades now, but that was an iPhone 8, something like that. But it wasn't a Nokia flip phone. But you bring about memories though. But it's fascinating, man. It is fascinating, and we live in a day and age where there's so much information overload. Because you even look at it now. Well, it's funny how power works, right? Because first, people were mad at Trump and Mar-a-Lago about those files he took, allegedly, those classified files, right? That he took to Mar-a-Lago. Now people talking about Joe Biden and his classified files that he had that he's not supposed to have when he was vice president. But it's like it's a game of aha, made you look, gotcha. You know what I'm saying? But I know people that know, and it's a lot of trickery and all this stuff. But I would say this: was Lisa Marie a sacrifice? Now that's an interesting question. What was she sacrificed? Because I that Austin Butler will be nominated for an Oscar for the Elvis. I think he's going to win it. He's probably going to win the Oscar. I know he'll be nominated for the Oscar, but he's probably going to win it. And nobody dies a natural death in show business. It's still the same with me. But let me read what they're saying about what happened to Lisa Marie. Read something about what they're saying, what happened to Lisa Marie. And let me add this. Thank y'all for y'all patience. We appreciate much. We got there. Let's see what they saying. Mm-hmm. I want to show this picture right here. This is Elvis in a hospital. Trying to. Is it showing on here? Okay, there you go. Gee. All right, this is from February of 68. Lisa Marie is a baby. You know, look at Elvis, how he looking at his daughter. And that's Priscilla holding their baby. That's February 1968. Show another picture as well. Good looking family, you know, good looking family. To the couple, other beautiful family, you know. So she was born in 68, and so she was about not 9. Wait a minute, excuse me. Yeah, 9. She's born in 68. Yeah, she was 9 years old. So she got memories of her father, or should have them. And she got very photogenic family, would y'all say? So okay, that's a nice picture. Come on, presto, change presto. Okay, there you go. Read some about Lisa Marie. What happened? Lisa Marie Presley dies at 54 after hospitalization Thursday. This is can y'all hear me? I believe she was a sacrifice, man. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, I think I'm good to go. Okay, Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis Presley, died Thursday after being hospitalized earlier that day. Her mother said in a statement. The singer was 54. It is with a heavy heart that I must share the devastating news that my beautiful daughter, Lisa Marie, has left us, Priscilla Presley said in a statement Thursday evening. She was the most passionate, strong, and loving woman I have ever known. The announcement came just hours after Priscilla Presley had confirmed that Lisa Marie Presley was rushed to the hospital earlier Thursday. Los Angeles County paramedics were dispatched to a Calabasas home at 10:37 a.m. following a report of a woman in full cardiac arrest. According to Craig Little, spokesperson for the county's fire department, property records indicated Presley was a resident at that address. Paramedics arrived about 6 minutes later, Little said. A subsequent statement from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said paramedics performed CPR and determined the patient had signs of life before taking her to a hospital in nearby West Hills immediately. The city of Calabasas is nestled between the foothills of the Santa Monica and the Santa Susana Mountains, about 30 miles northwest of downtown Los Angeles. Okay. News of Presley's hospitalization was first reported by TMZ and later confirmed by People magazine. Presley, 54, attended the Golden Globes on Tuesday, on hand to celebrate Austin Butler's award for playing her father in Elvis. She called his performance mind-blowing during a red carpet interview with Entertainment Tonight. I really didn't know what to do with myself after I saw it, she told E.T. of Baz Luhrmann's movie. I had to take like 5 days to process it because it was so incredible and so spot on and just so authentic that, yeah, I can't even describe what it meant. Just days before that, she was in Memphis, Tennessee at Graceland, the mansion where Elvis lived, to celebrate her father's birth anniversary on January the 8th. Kristen Sanato and her husband were visiting Memphis from Cleveland when she heard the news of Presley's death on Thursday. She wore a black jacket with the well-known TCB lightning bolt, shorthand for taking care of business in a flash, on the back, as she described meeting Presley at a celebration of her father's birthday on January 8th at Graceland. Of Graceland. Those are for Lisa, she said. She said Lisa Marie Presley was one of the last connections to her famous father. Everyone is shocked over this. Why? Why did this have to happen? Sanato said, wiping tears from her eyes as she stood in front of the stone wall that borders the home-turned-museum. She deserved a long, happy life. Presley had recently penned an essay published in People about the horrific reality of her grief following her son Benjamin Keogh's death by suicide in 2020. Presley is also another actor, Riley Keough, and twin daughters. I have dealt with death, grief, and loss since the age of 9 years old. Wow, another 9 connection. Did I just say she was 9 when her daddy passed? Her daddy was a life path 9. She's a life path 9. Austin Butler plays her dad. He's a life path 9. These 9s are popping everywhere. I have more than anyone's fair share of it in my lifetime. That's grief. And somehow I've made it this far, she wrote in August. Researcher, Randy Hershaft, and writer Brooke Lefferts in New York, and journalist Kristen M. Hall in Nashville, Tennessee, and Adrian Sands in Memphis contributed to this report. It's from the AP. So you see all the 9s. What's the 9s about? And then I also want to show this. I think it's very fascinating. This is very, because that cult stuff is real. Because you got to think about when Elvis died August the 16th. It's not just a normal day. August 16th is the day of the king. The 16th is also Robert Johnson, the king. August 16th is also the death date of Aretha Franklin, the queen of soul. So you got Babe Ruth, the king, the Sultan of SWAT, the king of baseball, Robert Johnson, the king of the Delta blues, Aretha Franklin, the queen of soul, and Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, all died on August 16th. Would it have been 38 for Robert Johnson, 48 for Babe Ruth, 1977 for Elvis Presley, and 2018 for Queen Aretha? And 3 of those people on that list are connected to Memphis. Elvis came of age in Memphis. He was born in Tupelo, but he was raised up in the projects in North Memphis, North Memphis, with the Humes, right? Humes High School, something like that. Aretha Franklin was born in Memphis, in Soulsville, in South Memphis, Soulsville, USA, raised in Detroit. Robert Johnson, blues man from Mississippi. Because he was ran in Mississippi by some Italians. They took his land by any means necessary. He got gangster out of his land by some Italians down in Mississippi. So they settled in Memphis. That's Robert Johnson's stepfather with his mom and family. And his stepsister wrote a book. It came out a couple years ago about her brother Robert. And co-written by a guy named Preston Lauterbach, who used to be a former writer at the Memphis Flyer, but he writes books now. You know, he wrote a book about Beale Street Dynasty, about Robert Church, the first black millionaire of the South. He wrote a book about the Chitlin Circuit and one about Ernest Withers, the famed civil rights photographer who became now known as an infamous FBI informant. So I actually know Preston, but right on. This is fascinating. Like I said, the 9 keep on coming up everywhere. With all the 9s are everywhere. And I'm not I'll figure out what the 9s and what does the 9 stand for. I already told you I'm a life path 9, but what does 9 mean? What does 9 mean? Let's look up what does number 9 means in I guess numerology. What does the number 9 mean? I'm becoming very popular. I've been trying to spend time by myself to get my thoughts right, to get my plans on track. But every time I'm looking up, it's folks inviting me to this and that. You know, people want to invite me to things. They actually send me evites and text messages, and they've called my phone and they want to, brother Ron, you gonna be in the house. We want you present. I guess I'm the life of the party, but I'm not used to being this type of popular, to be honest with you. That people want me around, they're little events, not little events, but their events it's quite unique because I'm very much okay being by myself. Okay, in numerology, the number 9 represents completion. In numerology, the number 9 represents completion, as it's the last of the single digit numbers, which are known as cardinal numbers in numerology, and the highest in value. That said, it symbolically represents a combination of wisdom and experience and buzz energy of both endings and new. Sound about right? Because you think about even 2016. 2016 was a year for the ages. No, not until 2020 came along had I seen anything like 2016 in my memory that I can recall as being conscious of those type of things. 2016, you add up the year 2016, 2 plus 1 plus 6. 2 plus 1 plus 6 equals 9. So, you look at this year now. This is 2023, right? So you add up 2023's 2 plus 3 is 7. So what does 7 mean? Because 9 is completion. It's it's end of an era, end of a cycle. So what does 9 mean? What does number 7 mean? So I'm freezing. Can y'all hear me? I'm frozen. Let me see. Guess it's a sign to wrap it up. Let me do this. I'll be right back. Yeah. We gon' make it. Am I freezing still? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Because right now I'm looking up number 7. What does that mean in numerology? And like I said, I'm not getting numbers are interesting. The universe is ran on numbers. It's been proven time and time again. The universe is ran on numbers, right? Numbers are interesting. The universe is ran on numbers. It's been proven time and time again. The universe is okay, it's like I'm fine. And like I said, we'll get all this upgraded, man. Like this is, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna make it. And I guess the universe, God trying to tell me, wrap it up, Ron. But I just want to share this with y'all. Then number 9 is something else in the life of the Presleys. And 9 is something. Let's talk about 7 though. So you see, like the number 7 represents wholeness and perfection in numerology, both physical and spiritual. This number is associated with ascension and a life free of obstacles and various cultures. Let me do something right quick. What do that mean? I'm thinking about Gangsta Boo. I'm trying to do something here. Like I said, more to come. But I'm trying to see if Sister Shamil will come on here to share her remembrance of Gangsta Boo for our audience. Because like I said, I didn't know I had these type of connection to Gangsta Boo until she passed on. Unfortunate. So think about this. Gangsta Boo, she died at 43. 4 plus 3 is 7. And she died on January the 1st, 2023. If you add that date of January 1st, 2023, that's 9. So she was 7, died on a 9th day. So you think about what I just read about what the number 7 represents, right? It represents wholeness and perfection, both physical and spiritual. This number is associated with ascension and life free of obstacles in various cultures. So Gangsta Boo died. She was 43. 4 plus 3 is 7. She died on January 1st, 2023. You add up that date, it's 9. So it was the end of a cycle, but at the same time, she broke through to the next level because now Gangsta Boo was going to be more influential than ever. What eluded her in life, the fame, recognition, and respect. And she was well respected by her peers. I'm talking about like the impact of her legacy will be felt now more because she's free from the mortal coil and the restraints of being a human. It's like what Baba did Gregory. He's free. His influence is greater now than he was alive because now the energy can move around and can shape shift and take different forms and do different things. Same thing with Gangsta Boo. And it's like, you even look at Lisa Marie. This is what I wanted to share. Because I guess they had to come to end like her daddy died when she was 9 years old. Were her life. And I'm not the type of dude to get deep into all this stuff, but I just started seeing connections and I don't know what to do with the connections. It's just observations, man. But I want to make another observation I picked up on. And then I think I'm going to wrap it up because I really want to do more of the Elvis stuff with the podcast about his relationship with Black people. And you'll be surprised at the things you will learn about how Black people view Elvis. It's not the popular perception of how Black folks feel about Elvis. It's quite the opposite. I even talked to my own people, my family. They love Elvis, man. But anyway, Elvis was unique. He was. I want to this pit. I think it's very important. The strings cooperating. As like Elvis, I can see in some pictures how he favored his famous grandfather Elvis was a unique man. It's a lot of guys that look like Pac, but they don't look like Pac. Pac had something else. He had that it factor. Elvis definitely had the it factor. But Pac had that unique, because a lot of cats that do favor Pac, but Pac had a different type of look about it. I never met Tupac in person or nothing like that. But I appreciate the donation, Tiffany. We love you madly. Y'all, please feel free to donate. We do love you madly, for real, for reals. We love you madly, man. So let me put this up here. Lisa was very close. Let me see. Yep. You see that? White folks love taking symbols and stuff and doing things. But I think she kept the original meaning of the symbol with the symbol. I just want to share. That's their feet, their foots. That's Lisa Marie's foot with her son Benjamin. Allegedly the only grandson of Elvis Presley. Allegedly, because I saw the dude on The Voice. They say he was the grandson of Elvis. Who knows? Well, I guess that was the only one recognized by his estate as being. So, you know, I believe I met Louis Armstrong. I didn't meet Louis Armstrong's daughter, but I interviewed a woman who says she's Louis Armstrong's daughter, and I believe she's Louis Armstrong's daughter. She looked like Louis Armstrong. She favors him, but as we learned from paternity court, looking like somebody don't mean you related to somebody. Looking like somebody don't mean you related. So I'm gonna read this. It's from Lisa Marie's Instagram page. She said, several years ago on Mother's Day, my son and I got these matching tattoos on our feet. It's a Celtic eternity knot, symbolizing that we will be connected eternally. We carefully picked it to represent our eternal love and our eternal bond. Man, and then they connected in death. I mean, that's a powerful bond, because you know, Lisa Marie is definitely being buried at Graceland. Her son was buried at Graceland next to his famous grandfather. So Lisa Marie would definitely be at Graceland next to her son and her grandfather and stuff like that. And it's weird because, like I said, I just read that AP article where she was just at Graceland recognizing the birthday of her famous father. But now she's going to be there permanently. She's going to be there resting in peace. That's crazy how this life can change in a nanosecond like that. It's really something, but there you go. A mother's love. I think she died of a broken heart. I also feel like she was sacrificed. And the thing about this type of thing, you can't prove it either way. You just know what you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like what Denzel said on Training Day, Alonzo Harris. It ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And either way, I mean, you run, I don't think it's a science. But the who benefit from this is the movie. The movie gonna get renewed interest. It's award season already. They about to turn it up on the Elvis biopic. Austin Butler about to become a household name, man. The dude who played Elvis. And like I said, he's a life path 9. He's benefiting from this energy. But that's unique that she posted that, and they both got those tattoos and stuff. And now they both dead within like less than 3 years of each other. Kind of remind me of Anna Nicole Smith and her son. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, Anna Nicole Smith, she was an interesting character. I think she was misunderstood. She was smarter than what she looked like Marilyn Monroe. She wasn't a dumb blonde to me. But she died not too long after her son died. She died not too long after her son died. And she was real close to her son. Like Lisa Marie was close to her son. And they both followed each other in death. And then Lisa Marie, she got twin daughters that were born in 2008. They still around. And from my understanding, she had issues with taxes and stuff. She owed allegedly like $400,000 in back taxes with the IRS. Real nasty divorce to her last husband, who she had the twins by. He claiming that they're hiding money. The estate is hiding money, you know, from the IRS. I don't know. But she's dead now. And man, that's just tough. that's back-to-back losses like that. I can't imagine what Priscilla is going through. Her daughter, Riley Keough, is going through. Lisa Marie's daughter, her oldest daughter. Sad, man. But it's like, it's only day number, I guess we're in day number 13 of 2023. What else is this? My thing is, I'm just getting prepared for any and everything and not being prepared for any and everything. But, you know, all eyes on nines, right? All eyes on nines. And also, this thing about who is the kids of so and so and so and so. Now, I met a brother down in Charleston, South Carolina, back in 2014, the fall of 2014. I met this man at my uncle Frenchie's home, one of his next door neighbors. He claimed that Elvis Presley had a black daughter. Now, I'm going to play this clip. I think it's very interesting. He claimed that Elvis had a black daughter. And as black women, he used to, you know, he was known for buying black women Cadillacs in Memphis. He had a reputation for buying women Cadillacs, black women. And I know one of her friends' moms actually got a Cadillac from Elvis. Elvis was he's a very generous guy. And like I said, black folks got a different, from Memphis, different feel for all black people. But the black folks that actually had a chance to encounter Elvis and stuff like that, they have a different take on Elvis. Like from the popular, and when people claim that Elvis said that the only thing a black person can do for him is shine his shoes. You know, they wrote that in the newspaper. It went like across the board like wildfire. But if you listen to what B.B. King and James Brown and Sammy Davis Jr. and yes, Muhammad Ali, what they said about Elvis is totally different. What the media, certain parts of the media say about Elvis and his relationship with black people. Even his backup singers, the Sweet Inspirations, they got a different take on Elvis. But I want to play this video. And I'm going to share that in the podcast. I'm still editing. If you like the words from Brother Herb, please spread the word. And also, please feel free to donate, man. Cash out your support, $ R2C2H2. Google Pay, PayPal. Zelle your support, R2C2H2 at gmail.com. You can Vimo your support at R2C2H2. Apple Cash, 901-299-4355. Patreon.com/we all. You could do it there. Also buy Art of His Art at R2C2H2. I'm just going to retrograde me out of here, man. They're going to break a player like me. I can't be broken. You know, I'm at a point now where it's weird to me. I'll share this with you all. No matter how bad it gets for me, I can't cry. Now, I cry for other people. I can empathize. I show compassion for other people. I could cry at a movie. A movie can make me cry. I'm okay with crying. Tears come out, and I do cry when I look at movies. Movies do make me emotional. So, but I can't cry for me. Even when I had the hole in my foot, I refuse to feel sorry for me. Because this too, not that for a year and some change, almost dealing with that situation. But you saw I'm gonna have my feet when I'm on hands. I be dancing, man. Ain't no lie, man. But dance machine, man. Watch me get down, watch me down, man, as I do my thing, man. I don't play around and dance for. I know how to have a good time. So now I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry, you know, about me. I'm more concerned about what good I can do while I'm here. I want, when people think about me, I hope they think positive things about me. Now, everybody ain't going to think positive. I made some enemies. I made frenemies. But that's okay, because the thing about it is, if you actually made your mark in the world, people supposed to feel one way or the other about you. If somebody asks a person, what do you think about Ron, or what do you think about so-and-so? If that person say, well, I don't know what to think about it, that means you didn't do your job. Mission wasn't accomplished. But if they ask what you think about Ron, and they say, I love him, Or they'll say, I hate them. I can't stand them. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. But let me play this clip from this brother from Charleston. Man. I guess God tell me to wrap it up in more ways than one. You know what I'm saying? Wrap it up, Ron. Wrap it up. This is weird. Y'all be news free Dixie for the 21st century. We all I was having technical issues. I see. I don't know if it was playing at all. The video was playing at all. I'm gonna try it again. If I can't get it done, I'm gonna include it in the podcast that I'm doing about the secret relationship between blacks and Elvis. But I wanted to play this clip about Elvis having a black daughter. I don't think the powers that be is cooperating with me right now. We all be. You says goes. Well, I hope she doesn't go, but she's been a great torchbearer for her ex-husband's amazing legacy. Yeah, I know how to pick the right type of woman or man, whatever, to carry your legacy. It's like Priscilla has made the Elvis Presley's estate what it is today. I mean, she really saw the vision for Elvis to be this, to be like making so much money dead, more money dead than when he was alive. And then you look at the movie did a great job of showing how Colonel Parker marketed Elvis Presley. Like this man had everything covered with the merchandise. He had pro Elvis Presley merchandise as well is he had like, I was selling I hate Elvis buttons and stuff like that. And it kind of took Elvis aback, but like Colonel was saying, we got to cover the whole market. We got to take advantage of everything. So Colonel was very ahead of his time in how he marketed Elvis. And I think Priscilla just took it to the next level in terms of what they did for the Elvis Presley estate, Graceland and stuff like that. Because like people don't know, yeah, Elvis died in Memphis, but he spent most of his time in Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas. He spent most of his time in Las Vegas, more so than Memphis. Like Gangsta Boo, she died in Memphis, but she was living in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't in Memphis, but I would say this about her. She wasn't afraid to embrace her hometown and come back and put 10 toes down and stay for a while, because she actually extended her stay this time around to connect with loved ones. I guess she knew she was about to go. I don't know, because it's weird. The Gangsta Boo was popping up everywhere with interviews on Drink Champs and Vlad TV. And then she did, collabs with Glorilla and Lotto. I wish she could have did like a verse on that F the Club Up song, because but I think people still can't deal with Gangsta Boo. She on a different level, because she had a flow and a cadence that men and women respected in the rap game as well as fans. She was just a unique character on and to herself. And like I told people, she's one of the most important female Memphis musicians to ever come out the Bluff City, the city of good abode. She's up there with Carla Thomas, with Alberta Hunter, with Lil Hardin Armstrong, with Vera Little. There's a couple other females, but I'm saying she's up there with them as being a person that was born and bred in Memphis and making an impact the way she made the impact. So I hope Priscilla could stick around. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot for that family to take within the last 2-3 years. It's just too much. Yeah, but the thing about it is, it was like Picasso said. He said, good artists borrow, great artists steal. Allegedly, what Picasso said. I don't know if he even said that. He could have stole it from somebody else, or somebody wrongly attributed to Picasso. But hear what Jackie Wilson had to say about Elvis. I'm glad you brought that up, Mimi. Let's hear what Jackie Wilson said about Elvis. I was gonna say that for my other one, but I got a lot in there to go in through anyway. But let's see what Jackie Wilson said. I'm trying to find it. I be having notes and stuff. If I can find it. I got it somewhere in here. It's good to have such wonderful chat room supporters and supporters of We All Be movement, man. Y'all really keep me on my game in terms of researching information. I think I'm gonna do it like this. I'll find it like this. I'll be good. Yeah, this Mercury retrograde is something else, man. This is what Jackie Wilson said about Elvis. This is what Jackie Wilson said. Like I said, Jackie Wilson was a fan of Al Jolson, Mr. Blackface Jew guy, who did the first Hollywood talkie. This is what Jackie Wilson said about Elvis. He said, a lot of people have accused Elvis of stealing the black man's music, when in fact, almost every black solo entertainer copied his stage mannerisms from Elvis. It's Jackie Wilson saying this. You can look this up. Take a look. It's all online. It still could be a lie, but it's all online. Jackie Wilson said, a lot of people have accused Elvis of stealing the black man's music, when in fact, almost every black solo entertainer copied his stage mannerisms from Elvis. Now, this Jackie Wilson saying this, but I told you, I even told y'all, it was a cat that I met named Calvin Newborn. Calvin Newborn was a great guitarist, blues, jazz, and all. He came from the famous Newborn family. His brother was the late, great Phineas Newborn, or Finest Newborn, Phineas Newborn, one of the most prolific and greatest jazz pianists to ever walk the planet this dude from Memphis who went to Booker T. Washington High School back in the day, Phineas Newborn. His brother told me and said that Calvin Newborn told me that Elvis used to go to Arkansas, in West Memphis, Arkansas, this place called the Plantation Inn. He used to watch and study Calvin Newborn performing on stage. Like Calvin Newborn used to do all the moves and everything with the guitar and all that stuff. He was a real showman. And he passed on, I want to say back in December. Calvin Newborn died either December 2018 or December 2019. I can't remember now. But he said that Elvis used to watch him perform, and he got some of his moves from him. And I could believe that. Good artist borrow, great artist steal. Elvis was not an exception, but Elvis had the gifts. Now, Chuck Berry, if he was white, Chuck Berry would be bigger than Elvis because Chuck Berry was brilliant. There's nobody like Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry is the father of rock and roll. You understand? As far as I'm concerned, he had the duck wall, he had his guitar, and he could write lyrics. Chuck Berry was a music genius when it came to song lyrics. That man wrote lyrics and everything. Beach Boys stole from Chuck Berry. A lot of folks stole from Chuck Berry. Fats Domino, you name out, Ike Turner. But they had respect and love for Elvis, though. They did. Even Little Richard, it was pros and cons and Little Richard, right? Let me see. This is what B.B. King had to say about Elvis. What did B.B. say? Elvis didn't steal any music from anyone. He just had his own interpretation of the music he grown up on. Same is true for everyone. I think Elvis had integrity. That's what B.B. King said about Elvis. Let me read what B.B. King said again. He said, Elvis didn't steal any music from anyone. He just had his own interpretation of the music he grown up on. Same is true for everyone. I think Elvis had integrity. That's B.B. King. Now, B.B. King would know something about integrity because of his dealings in the music business. He would cheat out of royalties and songwriters' credit. He was dealing with these Hungarian Jews, Hungarian American Jews, or Jewish Americans known as the Bahari brothers. Now, one of the Bahari brothers was born in Memphis, and the Bahari brothers were known for recording blues and black blues and R&B acts like B.B. King and Ike Turner and John Lee Hooker. And what they would do is they'll put their names on these people's songs, or they'll use a pseudonym or whatever, a false name or whatever, and put their name on the people's songs. And sometimes they may not put the people that actually wrote the song names on the songs, from my understanding, because Ike Turner said he wrote a whole bunch of songs he never got credit for, dealing with people like the Bahari brothers. Now, the Bahari brothers were portrayed in the what Dolomite Is My Name movie, where Eddie Murphy played Rudy Ray Moore, that biopic for Netflix. What that Netflix? Now he got some of his startup money to do his his movie stuff from the Bahari brothers, right? So they was portrayed in that movie, but B.B. King said Elvis had integrity. Ain't that something? I mean, he but then, like I said, this is some old David Letterman from back in the day, from back in the 80s. They had this dude named Otis Blackwell, who was a songwriter from Nashville, a black man who was a musician, but he was a songwriter. He wrote some songs that Elvis made famous, but he never got his chance to do his thing. And David Letterman allowed him the space to perform a medley of some of his hits you might know from Elvis, but he actually wrote it. It's like, okay, let's read what Big Mama Thornton had to say about Elvis right quick. Let's see if I can find it. Well, she was talking about Hound Dog. Somebody asked about Hound Dog. Said the record I made Elvis Presley rich on, a song I got robbed of. I got one check for $500 and never saw another. Big Mama thought on how much she actually got for her signature song, Hound Dog, after Elvis took it and made it his own. Now, Elvis was not a songwriter. He was not a songwriter. He took other people's creations, but Chuck Berry he could write. Chuck Berry was amazing as a songwriter. Elvis he was gifted at interpreting songs. It's like with Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra didn't write no songs that I know of. He just was an interpreter of popular songs and ballads and stuff like that. Billie Holiday was unique because she was great at interpreting songs, but also she wrote songs. She wrote God Bless a Child That Got His Own. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless a child that got his own. That got his own. Money, you have lots of friends hang around the door. Billie Holiday could write songs, man. But yet she was always given the crappiest songs by the music industry, and she'll turn sugar honey iced tea into gold. She was an alchemist when it came to interpreting songs. I love Billie Holiday. I can't go to sleep listening to Billie Holiday because I wake up depressed. So I almost like listening to XXXTentacion. I can't go to sleep listening to that. I wake up depressed, and I love Billie Holiday. But yeah, what I want to say. Now, this is what Eddie Murphy had to say about Elvis. That's my idol, Elvis Presley. If you went to my house, you see pictures all over Elvis. He's just the greatest entertainer that ever lived. This is Eddie Murphy saying this, not me. And I think it's because he had such presence. When Elvis walked into a room, Elvis Presley was in the effing room. I don't give a F who was in the room with him. Bogart, Marilyn Monroe. Now, how would Eddie know if Elvis had a bigger presence than a Marilyn Monroe or Bogart? That was before his time. But if you look at what Elvis peers, black peers, had to say about him, well, I guess he might be on target. You know what's interesting about that Elvis movie? It's like the sister who played Big Mama Thornton passed away, unfortunately, this past summer. She did a great job in that movie. I'm gonna look up and pay her respects, man. Her name was Shanka Ducare. Shanka Ducare was Big Mama Thornton in that movie about Elvis, and she passed away unexpectedly in her apartment in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm gonna read this right quick. I'm gonna pay her the respects. And she died at 44. That's too young. See, I can read this thing. Give her propers. Let me give her propers. Do her right. If I can. If I can't, I had it in my heart. Do right. Uncle Ducore. Yeah, keep on rocking. We all be, man. Rock with us, man. We love you madly. Get a good picture of this sister. I got me. I thought maybe do a 3-hour show. I can't do no 3-hour show, man. I don't know what my time be. My time be flying, man. Hope this thing do her right. Right. Thank you for that insight, Mimi. But these people, they will surprise you. Like I said, Eddie was playing the game. Maybe so, but like I'm saying, like if James Brown, these guys had love for Elvis, like y'all wouldn't believe the type of love these black guys had for Elvis, these black entertainers, man. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at what you read, man. But like But a lot of us do feel like what Ray Charles felt like when he did that Bob Costas interview, that Elvis was overblown. Of course, he is. There are better singers than Elvis, of course. There are better dancers than Elvis, of course. There are better this and that, but Elvis had a package. He was a package. He had everything. It's like with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did not have the physical dominance of a Wilt Chamberlain. Okay, he never scored over 100 points in the game. He didn't grab no 20-something rebounds a year, nothing like that. But it's something about Michael Jordan. He had an it factor. It's like saying with Tupac. Sure, there's guys with better flows and cadences, but Tupac was unique in how he interpreted what he interpreted. He was a poet, and he was bigger than the rap genre. He was a global icon that reached places where rap didn't reach. Like I had talked to Idi Amin, one of the members of Tupac's Outlaws, a couple years ago on this platform, or several years ago. It had to be over a decade ago. I talked to Idi Amin. And he was talking about how, Tupac, they got statues of Tupac in different places around the world, murals and everything. And he's not just seen as a rapper. He's like he's seen like a Che Guevara in the respects of revolutionary, because his backstory is amazing. But Pac had a little bit of everything. That's why, to me, he's my GOAT when it comes to rappers. I compare everybody with Tupac because Tupac had everything. He had the look, he had the origin story, he had the talent, he had the charisma, and he had the courage. So it is what it is. Well, Elvis had the package, man. Elvis was just looking at how he carried himself on stage and how people respond to him. Like even Muhammad Ali had love for Elvis, man. Y'all wouldn't believe how much love Muhammad Ali had for Elvis. It's amazing. But let me not get too, because I got a show. Man, it's about to be 2 hours in. I'm about to get out of here, man. But y'all can always support the movement. Y'all know how to donate and do all the things. Well, I just want to honor this sister. The push when it came to that Elvis Presley movie, because it's like everything is lining up. Like Denzel was the cat and Austin Butler to direct it. He called the director of the movie and said, "You got to put Austin Butler. You got to put him on. Austin Butler. You got to put him on. Austin Butler. You got to put him on." That was Denzel told the director of the movie. And I think this guy, he did the Great Gatsby movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I think this is who did this. And he did Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio. Did back in the 90s. That was a good movie. I think that's Baz Luhrmann. That's the guy, whatever his name. My bad. But let's do this tribute to this sister. Beautiful sister. So this is from July 22nd, 2022. She died. There's Shankar Dukare, actress who sang Hound Dog and Elvis, dies at 44. She made her Hollywood debut as Big Mama Thornton, giving a performance that one castmate called a spiritual experience. Interesting. Shankar Dukare, who made her Hollywood debut as the celebrated blues singer Big Mama Thornton in the new Baz Luhrmann film Elvis, was found dead on Thursday in Nashville. She was 44. The Metropolitan Nashville Police Department confirmed the death, but did not provide a cause, saying only that no foul play was evident. One of Mrs. Ducare's 2 young children found her unresponsive in her bedroom on Thursday morning and ran to alert a neighbor who called 911, the police said. Elvis, Mr. Luhrmann's highly anticipated movie about the life of Elvis Presley, with Austin Butler in the title role and Tom Hanks as Presley's manager, Tom Parker, opened in June. Big Mama Thornton, who recorded the original version of Hound Dog in 1952, years before Presley had a hit with it, was Mrs. Ducare's first major acting role. In Thornton, she found a role that melded her booming voice with her apparently emerging acting chops. Her rendition of Hound Dog especially captivated audiences. She had been planning to release a studio album titled The Lady Sings the Blues, according to her website. Ms. Ducare says she was from Nashville by way of Charlotte, North Carolina, where she was born on September 3rd, 1977. She originally planned to become a teacher and held a master's degree in education from Trevecca Nazarene University in Nashville, according to her website, which says she also held a bachelor's degree in theater from Fisk University, also in Nashville. She instead pursued the arts. Her powerful voice was heard on international tours with Jamie Liddell and the Royal Pharaohs, and was a featured vocalist on several albums. Her performance in Elvis rapidly earned her fans, among them her fellow cast members. Olivia DeJonge, or DeJong, whatever DeJong, who played Priscilla Presley in the film, told Entertainment Weekly that watching Mrs. Ducare was a spiritual experience. To watch a star essentially be born, to have something in her sort of break free, it was insane to watch. Mrs. DeJong, this is DeJong. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing these names. I'm not doing it in spite or be funny. I don't know how to pronounce these names. Okay. Information on survivors was not immediately available. Well, she had two young kids. One of them found her. That had to be very traumatic to find their mom dead like that. They made a correction. It said in an earlier version of this obituary misstated that your Elvis Presley version of Hound Dog was released. It was 1956 and 1953, because probably the one in 1953 was Big Mama Thornton's version, because she was also label mates with Johnny Ace from Memphis on Duke Records, the late great Johnny Ace on Duke Records. Johnny Ace, I love Johnny Ace. He don't get the recognition like Elvis, and he don't get the recognition he deserved. Johnny Ace's career was like maybe like 2 years, and Johnny Ace was like the opposite of Elvis. Elvis grew up in North Memphis in the projects. Johnny Ace grew up in South Memphis in a home. His folks actually own their home, and his people, from my understanding, they still own the property where Johnny Ace was raised in South Memphis in Soulsville. Johnny Ace's biggest hit came after he died, called "Pledging My Love." That was in the movie Christine, about the car, the possessed car, and the movie called Bad Lieutenant by Harvey Keitel. The second one was done by Nicolas Cage some years later, but Harvey Keitel was in the original Bad Lieutenant. And "Pledging My Love" was played. And what's interesting about "Pledging My Love," that was actually Elvis's last recorded song, or one of his last recorded songs he did before he died. So Elvis Presley's last song was "Pledging My Love." Johnny Ace's last song, "Pledging My Love," was his biggest hit. And also it opened the floodgates for Black musicians who wanted to cross over, because Johnny Ace was a Black dude that had a white sounding voice, like a balladeer, kind of like a Sinatra. Not like Sinatra, but he had a white sound to him. Whereas Elvis was a white dude that had a Black sound. You understand? So it's interesting how they flipped it over, R&B to rock and roll. But Johnny Ace changed the game in his own way, because back in the day, you know how they did Little Richard with Pat Boone. They'll try to get white artists to cover black artist songs. Like the Black artists, they want the Black artists to get the hits. What's interesting about Elvis is kind of like a happy accident, so to speak, because Sam Phillips started Sun Records or Sun Studios to make Black musicians better known among white people. Sam Phillips was a white dude from Florence, Alabama, the same town as W.C. Handy. And he started Sun Studios or Sun Recording to record Black musicians like Buddy Waters, like Howlin' Wolf, like Ike Turner. He wanted them to be the household names in white America. But luck would have it that, Elvis came along, and the rest is history. He was a white dude that sounded Black, that moved Black and all this stuff. And he drove Cadillac and all that. So, it is what it is, But Johnny changed that, because when they try to get white artists to cover Johnny Ace's "Pledge I Love," his version remained the most popular. So that opened the doors for the Ray Charleses and the Sam Cookes. Because they always said that Otis Redding had the first posthumous #1, sitting on the dock of the bay. And I'm just thinking, my eyes get wide. This year marked the 55th anniversary of the release of Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. It was uncompleted. It wasn't completed when Otis died. They finished it out because when he was singing not singing, when he was whistling, that famous whistle he do, he was actually coming up with lyrics to replace the whistle. So, but he didn't get a chance to because they killed him on the airplane. So they had it, and the song became immortal. This is why it won the most played songs of all times, in the top 10 most played songs of all time. But when I think about it, I think Sitting on the Dock of the Bay came out on January the 8th, 1968. January the 8th is Elvis's birthday. Another, Otis Redding, one of the kings of soul. Another tie-in to another. It's just, I can't make this stuff up. So also the sister, I'm gonna do her life path, see what her life path is right quick. She was born September the 3rd. Okay. Dang. Let me do this again. This is crazy. The sister was Big Mama Thornton, who died this summer under questionable circumstances. They don't know how she died, but they say it wasn't foul play. Nobody dies a natural death in show business. Nobody dies a natural death in show biz. Nobody dies a natural way. Okay, let me do this. The sister, I can't make this up. And this rabbit hole keep on getting deeper, deeper, and deeper. Her life path number is 9. The sister who played Big Mama Thornton, life path number is 9. Let me do it again. It says September the 3rd, 1977. Woo, boy, Jesus Christ. Yep. A life path number is 9. So you got all these 9s. You got dude that played Elvis. He's a 9. Austin Butler, his life path number 9. Elvis life path number is number 9. Lisa Marie life path number is number 9. The sister who played Big Mama Thornton, her life path number is number 9. This is some occult stuff going on with this movie, man. This movie is about to win a whole bunch of awards. They're about to win a whole lot of awards. I don't know what's on. This is some weird stuff. They about to win. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is crazy. Man. Yeah, it's like they made a couple of blood sacrifices for this movie to be a success. So shout out to that sister who's a righteous ancestor now. Sister Shanka Dukare. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know. They're not spring chickens or nothing but runs. Okay, but it's still young to me. So I'm gonna end it on this because I can keep on going on and on and on and on. But I actually got a good podcast for you all talking about the secret relationship between blacks and Elvis. And okay, before I get out of here though, let me do this. I'm gonna include this too, but oh my God, it is so much, man. Time I was so tired coming in here, man. It's just like, what's gonna happen next? Jesus, what's gonna happen next? I use this. I mean, it's so much information overload, man. I stayed like, I just envy people that could just do all this in a TikTok. Like, I'm trying to tell you all this information. It take me hours. There's research and stuff. I get deep into it, man. Deeper and deeper. Deeper. Let me do something. Yeah, Elvis was, he did his thing, man. I love Michael Jackson. I love all them guys. Okay, let me show this picture. Y'all see that pretty foxy and weird. That's Myrna Smith. She was part of Elvis's backup singing group called the Sweet Inspirations, a very great vocal group. There was Elvis backup singers from 1969 to 1977. And Myrna Smith was a part of that group. This is also the same group that Whitney Houston mom was in. Sissy Houston was a backup singer for Elvis in that group, the Sweet Inspirations. And Elvis had a thing for Myrna Smith. He wanted to get with that hot chocolate. He wanted that sister. That sister looked good. And even when she passed away back in December 24th of 2010 at the age of 69, but even when she was an older woman, she looked good. And she had that smile, and Elvis was smitten by, he was taken by her, man. He wanted her so bad, but she said, no, Elvis, we can't have both. You can't have it your way. I know you the king, but you ain't the Burger King. You can't have it your way all the time. Either we doing business or we doing that. We either gonna do the business, the finance, the band, or we gonna of the Memphis Mafia. This guy named Jerry Schilling, one of Elvis's bodyguards and best friends in the Memphis Mafia. She actually married Jerry back in 1982, 5 years after Elvis passed, and they stayed married for about 5 years. They divorced in 1987, but they remained friends for the rest of her life. So Elvis thing for the chocolate lady, he loved them chocolate women. Like I said, Elvis was buying Cadillacs for black women in Memphis. Elvis was a player, man. Elvis, like, he from Memphis, man. He got a Cadillac, man. He ain't no lemon lane, man. Like Law Dog, he ain't no lemon lane. Elvis loved the ladies. He loved the sisters, man. I know y'all won't believe that, but he did. His cook was a black woman. She was one of his, he used to buy her Cadillacs and stuff, from my understanding. He was very generous with his, money with the women. But I want to read something that Myrna said about Elvis. If I could find it. Yeah, she was definitely a sweet inspiration for Elvis. I'm trying to see what she said about Elvis. It's so much, man. Memphis got so much amazing history. Memphis got amazing history. Like Myrna, she's saying with people like Aretha Franklin and Wilson Pickett, Solomon Burke, all them people, man. I'm trying to see what she said about Elvis. Mm-hmm. Trying to see. I know y'all can look this up online too. I'm just going through some stuff, trying to get through this stuff. She said she was the first person to introduce Lisa Marie Presley to Michael Jackson, the king of pop. She said, yes, Jerry, that's Jerry Schilling, and I did that. She would have been 6 years old, I think, and she wanted to see the Jackson 5. So we took her to see the show, and afterwards we went backstage to meet them. But she didn't remember that. I saw her on my birthday recently, and she asked me about it because Michael had remembered the meeting and reminded her of it. Apparently, Michael had tried to get in touch with her long before she started seeing him. But until Lisa was 18 years old, her mother had her kind of under her thumb. Unlike her parents, Priscilla was doing her thing. She was with Elvis when she was like 15 years old or something like that, if not younger. So that's interesting that she like only Marie, but she was kind of loose when she got with Elvis. I digress. Let me see. Mm-hmm. Let me see. She was real close to Elvis. Like, okay, the interviewer asked, some people like to make out that Elvis was racist in some ways. Is the story true that on the Texan tour, the promoters didn't want Elvis working with black backing singers? They're talking about the Sweet Inspirations. And Elvis made the stand saying, no sweets, no Elvis. This is what she said. That's what we heard. I was in an open convertible to the stage. So that promoter never defied Elvis again. In fact, I don't think we never worked with him again anyway. I know that no matter what color I was, Elvis would have loved me the same. As far as he treated me, there was not one racial bone in his body. I mean, in the early days, he even sneaked into those black gospel churches in Memphis, which would have taken a lot of nerve. White boys just wouldn't go there. It was a brave thing to do, but he was just determined. Like one of them churches was East Tree. Elvis's favorite preacher was a black man named Dr. William H. Brewster, Dr. William Herbert Brewster, who wrote Move On Up a Little Higher, the song that Mahalia Jackson made a million seller, one of the first million sellers in gospel history. So Elvis, I don't know if he was sneaking, but Elvis was like, he was going there, like George Klein, who just passed away not too long ago, who was a media personality in Memphis. He was part of Elvis's Memphis Mafia, real close to Elvis. He talked about how they used to go to Dr. Brewster's church on Sundays and listen to the choir sing and everything. So, I mean, he was welcome there. They welcomed Elvis in the black church. And Elvis could sing gospel, man. Like I said, his Grammys were for gospel songs. It wasn't for anything rock and roll and pop he did. He won his 3 Grammys for gospel music or inspirational music. Let me see something else. How is this it, man? Because I could read more. This is that. I'll let y'all. I just want to pique y'all interest because this is after 2 hours, right? So you get a feel. This is more than Elvis the Me style, and what we've been told about Elvis. Yeah, she was a good-looking woman, man. I seen pictures. She's very photogenic. It's very photogenic. Oh yeah, Elvis had good shape. He loved them black women. But you know, you look at even the Confederacy, the South. Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy during the Civil War, his woman was allegedly mulatto. I mean, she was mixed with black. I mean, you look at pictures. I'm looking at the photographs, and you know, sometimes you can't tell what people are. It's hard because even Meghan Markle, she don't look like she black. I never thought if you told me Meghan Markle was black, I wouldn't believe it. She don't look black. She don't act black. She never lived black. Her mama black, but she don't act black or look it. Meghan Markle don't look like she black, but they would, you look at Jefferson Davis photos with his wife. His wife like she a touch of melanin. She got a touch of melanin, just a touch, a smidge. If you look at Judah P. Benjamin, the second in command of the Confederacy, Judah P. Benjamin was a Jewish senator, one of the first Jews in Congress. I say one of the first because he was the one before him was a guy named David Levy Yulee. He was from Florida. David Levy Yulee was a Jew, but he didn't want to be he changed over to Christianity, but he was like the first Jewish senator in Congress back in the day, I want to say that either the 1840s or 1850s, but his family owned a big sugarcane plantation down in Florida, but Levy County is where Rosewood used to be. Now, people say Rosewood still exists. Yeah, the name Rosewood, but not like it used to be. You understand? It was, the town that was destroyed back in the first week of January 23 does not exist. It's like a ghost town. You got people that stay. And I want to go down to Rosewood myself and look at it, but not at nighttime, like during the daytime with a lot of light out. Not anytime during the nighttime. I want to go to Rosewood. But you had the first Grand Wizard of the Klan, Nathan Bedford Forrest, the first Grand Wizard of the Klan. He had a black woman that was his slave that ran away from him and had her daughter down in Louisiana. And matter of fact, his great grandson was Douglas Turner Ward, who founded the ensemble company that trained so many great actors of the 20th century. Like people like, like the who's who of black actors, they went through that organization. So his great grandfather is Nathan Bedford Forrest, and Douglas Turner Ward just passed away last year in his 90s. And he acknowledged who his great grandfather is. Like a Jewish person said that my great grandfather is Adolf Hitler. Who want to claim that? Yeah, she looked good. Yeah, Sissy Houston was a part of that operations. I don't think she lasted long with Elvis. I think she was there for a year. But I think, from my understanding, Whitney Houston actually met Elvis when she was a little kid. She met Elvis, from my understanding. I didn't say it. I can't retract. I mean, he said that Jackie Wilson been dead for real. But you come on down here and see me, though. You more than welcome to come on down here. If that's what it takes to get you down here, you're more than welcome to come down. I have no problem with it. Man, come on down here. But I think that's enough, man. I keep on going on. It sound like me. Yeah, I'm about to get out of here now. And time going by fast. I don't know how fast. It really, it's like warp speed for me right now. Oh my God. Yeah, they did a great job of fine-tuning him, because listen to some of his gospel songs, man. Man had a unique voice, but like, to me, he sounded like, a white version of Jackie Wilson, because Jackie had an amazing range. Jackie Wilson had an incredible range. He had operatic range. Jackie Wilson could sing any and everything. Sing any and everything. He don't get enough credit. I mean, so many people, man, that don't get the recognition. But you got this internet, and you can just look up anybody. You got Spotify, you got iTunes, you got Amazon Prime Music. You got so many ways to learn, to open your ears and learn more about the people they always overlooking. To me, Elvis really is a godsend in a way, because if you're really serious about the music and you start researching the origins of Elvis, you're going to run into these black musicians. It's like Jimmy Rogers, the so-called king of country, the father of country music. He learned ole, 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 ole. He got that. He studied black people to learn how to yodel and stuff like that when he worked on the railroad. Hank Williams Sr., his mama hired a black man to teach him how to play guitar and sing. Rufus T. Payne. George Gershwin. It was black men like Lucky Roberts from Philadelphia who taught him how to play piano and compose. George Gershwin learned it from black people how to do music. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but it's well documented. They actually interviewed Lucky Roberts when he was an older man. Lucky Roberts was a smart businessman. He was a great piano player, but he made his money doing real estate in New York. He became a millionaire. This is a black man who became a millionaire back in the days, the Jim Crow era. This man became a millionaire doing real estate in New York, man. But he trained George Gershwin. He taught George Gershwin how to play piano and how to read music. He said George couldn't read music and all this stuff. They taught him. Why do you think his stuff sounds so jazzy, so blues now? He got that from the black man. It's like with Larry Bird. People talk about Luka this, Luka that. Larry Bird is the greatest white basketball player of all time. You got your Luka and your Dirks and all them. Larry Bird is the greatest white basketball player ever. Larry Bird was amazing. They said Larry Bird talked more trash than anybody in the league. See, my thing, I couldn't believe that when I was a kid. You see Larry Bird like he was quiet and innocent. They say he talked so much crap. He talked more trash than anybody. He would say stuff like, man, don't disrespect me by putting your white basketball player. Give me the best black player. I want the best black player. I want the best black player. The best black player to guard me. Don't give me no white player. Don't disrespect me like that. That's Larry Bird, man. Can you imagine if Lynn Bias, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish was on the same team, you think Michael Jordan would have won a ring? It's like almost like you think Beyonce would be Beyonce if Aaliyah was still around. People sleep on Aaliyah, man. Don't you know this year will mark with the 22nd anniversary? She'll be like, she died at 22, so it'll be 22 years since she passed. She would have been 44 this year. Aaliyah, see, people, I mean, you know how Beyonce did the Isley Brothers song. She did Frankie Beverly and Mays, you know, they little thing. You know, people criticize. Beyonce is talented. She's very, very talented. She's a Virgo, very beautiful and very talented. But I can remember growing up, I used to love Aaliyah's version of At Your Best You Are Loved. Could you imagine Aaliyah doing a whole album of Isley Brothers songs? Think about it, have Ron Isley on there. Just do her interpretation of Isley Brothers. Don't you know that stuff would be amazing? Amazing. Because her last album was amazing. The Aaliyah album, that album was amazing, man. I mean, the maturity, the growth, and all. I mean, she had the it. She was the it. She had the look. She could dance. She got her own. People like, you don't have to be no powerhouse. I think people don't understand. I'm not looking for the next Whitney Houston. God only made one Whitney Houston, and that's how it's supposed to be. God only made one James Brown. I ain't trying to look for the next Aretha Franklin. I want interest people. I'm more interested to see how people interpret stuff. I mean, the artistry of it. It's not trying to be like when I play a trumpet or sing, I'm not trying to be Louis on. I mean, I impersonate Louis, but Louis did everything he could do on trumpet. He did everything. My thing is to find my own way. It's like Miles Davis. Miles Davis could never be Dizzy Gillespie or Fats Navarro or Clifford Brown. Miles had to learn to be Miles. His daddy told him, son, if you want to be a musician, don't be no mockingbird. Don't sound like everybody else. Sound like you. The quest in life is not to be like everybody else, is to be yourself. That is the quest. Most of us would never succeed in being ourselves. And the people that do succeed, you pay a price. There's a price to be paid. But the price to pay and what you gain in return, I would say is worth it. So with that said, I'll end it tonight at 2 hours and 30 minutes. Oh my God. I told my mom I'm going to do just a quick 20, 30-minute live about Lisa Marie passing. I want to talk about the power of the number 9 in the Presley narrative. And then here I am, because I don't know what's going on with me. Why? But anyway, thank you all for being very patient. Thank you to the moderators, the people in the chat that kept it lively and classy and provocative. We love you madly. That nobody, I agree. I think everybody will agree with that. But the thing about the Elvis thing, what I like with the movie, it shows where he got it from. You are correct in what you said, but the movie gives homage to Black artists, to Black musicians, to Black culture. They're paying homage to that. They are. Because even in the movie, not mistaken, it's been a minute. I got to look at the movie again now. But they had Elvis calling Fats Domino the real king of rock and roll. Fats Domino was a bigger artist than Elvis for a minute. People like, oh no, Fats Domino was outselling Elvis. He was the most popular artist in the country at one. Fats Domino, man, the fat man from New Orleans. You know, his producer and arranger, Dave Bartholomew, just passed on, man. David Bartholomew is a legend. And he died quietly. Nobody did this big hoorah about David Bartholomew. This man died at 100 years old. He was like 100 or so year old when he died about a couple years ago. And this is a guy who helped create the Fats Domino sound. So now, the thing about Elvis is when you look at Elvis, it's like in jazz. What I love about jazz is that my first album I ever brought was Giant Steps. I think it was Giant Steps. John Stelzner was the first last album I brought. And then that you start looking at the people in the group. It takes you on a journey like with Miles Davis. You start Kind of Blue and researching the people that were involved in Kind of Blue. Most of the people in Kind of Blue led their own groups at one point, whether it be John Coltrane, Cannonball Adderley, Bill Evans. The last person to die from Kind of Blue was Jim Cobb. Jimmy Cobb played drums on Kind of Blue. He passed away not too long ago. Look at Miles Davis's Birth of the Cool. All those great musicians on there, they all gone. The last person to die was Lee Konitz, great alto saxophonist who sounded like himself. When everybody was trying to sound like Charlie Parker, this is a white dude from Chicago. He said, I'm gonna sound like myself, Lee Konitz. He just passed away within the last 2 or 3 years. I think I want to say 2020 or 2021. He was the last artist alive on the Birth of the Cool. And before him, I think Jimmy Cobb. Is that Jimmy Cobb? I'm saying right. Jimmy Cobb was the drummer on Kind of Blue. I gotta look this up because I just got all this information. I get it all twisted. Get it right. Y'all be Brother Ron don't know what you talking about. Yeah, Jimmy Cobb. He died at 91. He died May 24th, 2020. He was born January 20th, 1929. His birthday is coming up. So that was the last person on Kind of Blue. But now you study Elvis, you got to have appreciation for Black gospel. You talk about Dr. William Brewster, who trained Mahalia Jackson, who trained Queen C. Anderson. Well, Elvis was listening to Queen C. Anderson. They say Queen C. Anderson was greater than Mahalia. So you can't help when you study Elvis and his roots, you can't help but pay respect to Black musicians. It's impossible because Elvis did not happen in a vacuum. Elvis got exposed on Beale Street. That was like, the Harlem of the South was Beale Street. If Beale Street could talk, so it's deeper than that. My thing is, let's go beyond what they want us to believe, and let's get to the know at the bottom of everything. Let's know what we know. So, might have asked. Have I been to Graceland? I've been past Graceland many times in Whitehaven. We call it Black Haven because Whitehaven used to be a place where a bunch of white folks used to live. And Black folks was not welcome, but now it's Black folks everywhere in Black Haven. I would go past Graceland, but now it's kind of like when people live in New York. A lot of people never been to the Empire State Building or to the Statue of Liberty or whatever, or outside of Brooklyn for that matter, or whatever. So it's like one of the things you take for granted. Like, for example, Al Green is still around. Al Green has a church in Whitehaven or Black Haven near Graceland that is not attended by Black people really in Memphis. It's attended by people from other countries and from around the country. These folks from Italy and China and Africa, Japan, Germany, from Minnesota, from California, motorcycle groups. They all come listen to Al Green, the Right Reverend Al Green on Sundays. Most of us don't care. But when he passed on, there's going to be a lot of hoopla about Al Green, guarantee that, But you think about it. I remember one Mother's Day 2010. I was at this gas station in Black Haven and Whitehaven. We call it Black Haven. It's right across the street from what used to be the Southland Mall, or is the Southland Mall. I don't know what's going on. And this Mother's Day, my mom was in the car. We was on our way to Mississippi. I think we were going to eat at Paula Deen's before Paula Deen messed up. When Paula Deen was still popular, they had a Paula Deen's down at the casino, one of the casinos down in Tunica. And I went into the gas station to get gas, and they were playing Al Green on the radio. And I walked in, and like everybody was weird. It's like everybody was looking at me as I walked in. It's like all eyes were me. I said, what everybody looking at? And then they playing Al Green on the loudspeakers. Then I hear this distinctive voice singing to Al Green. And I looked around, it was like Al Green's by the Twinkies. He was by the cupcakes and stuff, singing his song that was blasting on the loudspeakers. And I look back at the people looking at Al Green. I looked at Al Green and said, "Are you who you are?" Said, yeah, I'm Al Green. Yeah. Hey. So I'm like, I don't know, but he basically, yeah, I'm Al Green. Okay. So I said, you was fair. I'm just trying to get some gas on 10 or 20 on pump 3 or whatever. And Al Green singing to Al Green on the loudspeakers at the gas station. So Al Green had a nice little Mercedes he was in. And if I was thinking, I probably said, "Hey, I want you to meet my mom, Al. She's a big fan. Can you sing?" Back then it was like just about 2010. It ain't like, but if I didn't put it on the ground, it didn't happen. If it wasn't on Twitter or Facebook, it didn't happen. Now people think if I don't record this, if I don't take a selfie, it didn't happen. But it happened. It happened. And Al Green, Mother's Day. I wish I could have just had him serenade my mom a little bit for the greatest Mother's Day gift, I guess, that a son could give like that. An impromptu Mother's Day gift of Al Green serenading your mom on Mother's Day. But anyway, that is what one. Yeah, that would have been interesting. You know what? That kid would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. I would think so. You think about you got Elvis mixed in with Michael Jackson. I wish Michael would have had his head kids with Stephanie Mills. That would have been an interesting kid. He was dating Stephanie Mills. That's her name, the great R&B unsung singer. Yeah, that would have been interesting. But I ain't gonna never forget Michael Jackson going to the Memphis Zoo. He had a little mask on, like we couldn't tell that's Michael Jackson. Everybody knew who it was. He had the mask on, trying to hide who he was. That's Michael Jackson, man. I saw Jackie Wilson gave him high praise. He said he didn't copy nobody. He said black artists were copying him. Jackie Wilson was amazing to me. But Little Willie John was amazing. Who write the books, but I'm just saying what they say Jackie Wilson said about Elvis. I'm not saying that you're not correct. Great artists steal. That's the whole point. Great artists, good artists borrow, great artists steal. If Jackie Wilson was a white man, he would be bigger than Elvis. He would have been bigger than Elvis. Because Jackie had you playing by their rules. You're in their game and their system. It is what it is. It was okay. No, that'd been interesting though to see the king of pop impregnate the princess of the king of rock and roll. I don't know. I think Lisa Marie, she came out with some music. She might have had a better music career if her father was around to tutor her, to help mentor her into the music business. Because I gotta give props where props is due. Joe Jackson, whatever you may think about Joe Jackson, if it wasn't for Joe Jackson, there'd be no Michael or Janet Jackson or Jackson 5. Because that stuff that Jackson 5 stuff still holds up to this day. To Bill Brown say it's like rap saying, judge, but I got my opinion. Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer. If you say that Michael Jackson is the greatest entertainer, yeah, okay. If you said Elvis Presley was the greatest entertainer of all time, okay. It's your opinion. It don't really make a difference what you think or believe, as long as you think and believe it. Yeah. Yeah, it's worth watching. To me, I enjoyed it. I don't have expectation for these movies. I something about the type of movies because they make movies different now. Yeah, Miles was the man. But anyway, Let's try to go through this. Yeah, well, I guess y'all gonna look through the chat. I'm trying to look through all this chat. I don't think so. Maybe he could make a donation to a judge's campaign as he running for mayor. JJB, mayor of Memphis, Tennessee in 2023. Buy my barbecue sauce, by the way. By the way, I got barbecue sauce. Got a ballot? I got the Q. Got the ballot? Q. See how it works? Okay. Yeah, that Al Green something else. I love it. Actually, I met James Harden mom on was it Mother's Day? I met Jay Harden's mom. I met Jay. I scared his mom. That's a story I could share. His mom got scared. She from LA. I scared her about Memphis, and she went back to a hotel. She loved Michael Jackson. Yeah, it seemed like it. I would now if they had some kids, it'd been interesting. Yeah, I love Supreme Soul Train. Yeah, definitely. Meaning he deserved. Joe did his thing. Now you know when you parenting, you're gonna make some rights and wrongs, and you know things. I mean, you're human, but for the most part, Joe Jackson gave us. I mean, not just his sperm. He actually helped nurtured and mentored and incubate. I mean, he did what he had to do to get his sons and daughter and all that out there. So more power to him. Thank God for Joe Jackson. So okay, thank y'all for comments. Says Larry Bird. Yeah, he did play with black people. He always gave credit. He's like with like people like Larry Bird or Elvis. They give people their propers in their way, man. They respect the game. They respect the players. And I remember I was watching an interview of Larry Bird some years ago. He was being interviewed. I don't know, it was Real Sports with Brian Gumbo, somebody. He was saying that he learned how to play basketball by playing with older black men in Indiana. He said, you know, I learned how to play from the black man. It's the black man's game. Now, the interest Larry Bird says it's the black man's game that I learned how to play from the best of black man. The black man, it's the black man's game. That's how I learned how to play. Now, they give credit to Dr. James Naismith for inventing basketball. But I don't think Dr. Naismith could see Michael Jordan or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Dr. J or Kyrie Irving or LeBron James coming along or Wilt Chamberlain. He couldn't conceive the thought of players like that coming along and changing the dynamics of his game. It's like he probably couldn't envision the three-point line. Because they didn't really start shooting three-pointers until the 80s. I think the three-pointer in the NBA was invented, 79? I don't know. I ain't gonna look this up, but three-pointers didn't start being used on a regular basis until really the late 80s. They started really shooting three-pointers. And if you look at even music, Adolph Sax invented the saxophone, but you couldn't tell me that Adolph Sax could imagine someone like Parker or Coltrane or Sonny Rollins or Coleman Hawkins or Sidney Bechet coming along and doing their thing, man. They took it to the next level. See, you are only limited by your imagination and your drive and your will. A lot of us get stuck because we allow other people to dictate what our normal should be, or tell us what our ambitions should be, what our expectations should be, and what our potential should be. See, when you let other people define to you what is normal, what is exceptional, what is mediocre, what is accepted, then you cannot really get mad at anybody but yourself, because you allow other people to determine who you are for you. You are allowing yourself to be limited by other people's lack of imagination. You are really only limited by your lack of imagination. So feed your imaginations. See, Einstein was brilliant because he realized that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Because if you can imagine something, you can surely manifest it if you have the will and desire to. If you're willing to put in the work that it takes to create something just exceptional, like what Duke Ellington said, will beyond category, then the world is yours. It's like, will we all be? If I choose to believe my analytics on YouTube or on different social media sites, that means I'm not being effective. They're trying to tell me, well, Ron, you're not getting the numbers and people are unsubscribing, people are not supporting you. That should make you depressed. But it's hard to be depressed when they put so many obstacles in your way in order to just do something that you love to do. But if you have a love to do something, nothing can stop you from doing it. Only you can stop you from doing what you want to do. And what they said, why do I do what I do? I've been doing this for 16 years. It's not making me money like that. This is not, this is like a labor of love. I just got through working, scrubbing toilets and mopping floors and stuff like that. And then I come on here because people say, well, Lisa Marie did. And I said, wow. I said, what? I was listening to Elvis gospel music all day yesterday. And I've been thinking about Elvis over the last couple of weeks. And this happened. So why not, go live and share your thoughts and, because go deeper, because I have imagination. Then, you start talking about nines everywhere. They got nines. I got 9 on it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. It's dangerous to share. It's dangerous to share ideas, man. They kill dreamers, but they can't dreams. You kill a man, but you can't kill an idea. That's why they do all they can to control people through groupthink, through intimidation, through censorship, because it's loose cookies like me, loose cannons like me out here. Oh, Ron, you're not effective, man. You're not popular. They don't love you, and you're not successful and all this stuff. Well, I'm successful because in spite of it all, I'm still doing what I want to do. And I'm willing to pay the cost to be the boss. And okay. So y'all be willing to pay the cost to be your boss. See how it works? So with that said, I'm gonna close out now. I've been saying I'm gonna do something. The relationship, the secret relationship between blacks and Elvis. I'm working on the podcast. It's a labor of love. But hopefully I'll plan on having it done and premiering it hopefully on it's not gonna be on Friday because this is Friday right now. And I gotta go to work and stuff like that. But I'll make sure I premiere it. I want to premiere it by Sunday. I'll say by Sunday. So thank you all for being patient with Brother Herd. If you like the words from Brother Herd, please spread the word. Subscribe to We All Be TV. That's We All Be TV on YouTube. Also support. Thank to the moderators. Thank to the people that's been patiently sharing their thoughts and being patient with me as have some technical difficulties, but like in the words of Dr. Willie Jolly, a setback is the setup for a comeback. So thank you all for that. You can always support, Cash App, $ R2C2H2, Google Pay, PayPal, Zelle. That's R2C2H2 at gmail.com, R2C2H2 at gmail.com. You can Vimo your support at R2C2H2. That's at R2C2H2. Also join the patreon.com at /WeAllBe. That's patreon.com/WeAllBe. Also become a member of We All Be TV. Thank you to Brother Griffith for hanging in there. The best yet to come, brother. Got some things lined up. I'm going to feed y'all. Feed me. I'm going to feed y'all. Feed me. I'm going to feed y'all. Okay? Going to do it like that. Also, you can buy art of his art at R2C2H2.com. That's R2C2H2.com. I'm hoping read the disclaimer page. You got to see sort of store connected to my YouTube shelf, and that's why you might get a 404 not found. But click on the home link there. I'm trying to get it fixed now. It'll go to my main page, my main Teen Spring store, which is R2C2H2 Plays. May also be interested in getting something, just holler at me. You got my phone number, you got my email, and we'll make it happen. But let me read the disclaimer, and we'll get on out of here. I didn't even eat no dinner, man, but that's all right, because I just love this type of stuff. Y'all give me energy to keep it going much more than you know. The support, whatever y'all do, thank y'all. And I'm glad I'm on service. A lot of people die with my birthday on holidays, like everybody else make up holidays. So I call my holiday the 4th of New Year. So people that my birthday was January 4th, my birthday is not until April 23rd. So I'm just praying to God, and then I can do the right things and get there. Keep it going. I don't want the tag. Let me see, I got it. They want me to do the Chattanooga choo choo. Okay, I got it now. Yeah, man. And a lot of y'all be watching the whole thing, which is interesting. I don't know what's going on. Oh man, I envy the folks that can do stuff like this. Disclaimer: the views expressed by hosts and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group Incorporated. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. Thank you all once again for hanging out with your guy, your man, your friend, your comrade, Brother Ron. In the words of the immortal great Duke Ellington, we love you madly. In the words of still living and thriving Brother Ron, keep on producing and pushing, man. We all be in it to win it. See how it works somewhere. One love, something like this. Like love and happiness. Yes, indeed.